Welcome to the 4 elements of creativity, a pathway to unlocking your creativity and deepening the connection to yourself as an artist and a creative. As creatives or artists, I feel like we're always searching for something, a way back to ourselves, a new perspective, a way to unblock our creative intuition. We always feel like we're on the path or the journey to find ourselves. Creativity is important. I believe that creativity is an innate force to us all. We all have the ability and the capacity to create. It's just about finding it and unlocking it. So many of us feel driven to create, but often our drive doesn't match up to our reality. We often face internal or external blockages, which mean that we can't create in the way that we intend to. I experienced this blockage myself, and so as a response to that, I created this 4-step process for myself, and so now I want to share it with all of you. I felt really creatively stagnant and was completely fearful of the creative process because I felt like I didn't have any skill or I had very little skill, so it felt like, well, what's even the point of trying? But over time, I kind of figured out ways to help me cope with this and how to move past it, and eventually how to create even with these kind of fears and doubts sitting within me. So I feel like if this process works for me, then it could really help a lot of other people and a lot of other creatives. So my aim is to help you reconnect with your creativity, whether that's just you losing touch with it or reawakening this part of you that's lain dormant for a while, let's say. Or maybe this is just your first foray, your first step into taking your creativity seriously. But wherever you are on your journey, you're in the right place now. So throughout this video, you'll be figuring out what kind of art you want to make, what kind of artist you are, what kind of creative you are, and really claiming that label of being a creative or artist. And I know that a lot of people will kind of shy away from the label of artist because it does have a connotation of like high art and being in a gallery and stuff, but if you are creating something, then you're an artist, you are creative automatically. So don't be afraid of claiming that label for yourself right from the get-go. I'm going to be giving you the tools to be able to access your creativity and really feel confident with it. So there are 4 steps to the 4 elements of creativity. This is intuition, motivation, clarity, and embodiment. As a side note, I will be running in-person workshops on the 4 elements of creativity. So if you're in London or wherever I am or happen to be, you can attend these in-person workshops with me. And I've made a workbook that goes with the 4 elements of creativity, which is this one. I hand-bound it. It's all completely made from scratch. I designed it, bound it. Yeah, this is it. To be able to do the 4 elements of creativity process, you won't need this workbook, but I will be flashing up on the screen the layouts that I use. So if you want to take inspiration from them, you can. But in order to do this process, the workbook isn't necessary, but it is handy. It's really handy. So first, we'll be unblocking our intuition. I believe that intuition is such an important part of the creative process. It's that gut instinct, that unexplainable knowing, that aha moment. And when we can't access it, it feels like a part of us is shut off. It might feel like once it's shut off, you can't access it and you can't get that feeling back, but that's not true at all. You just need to know how to be able to tap into it at will. And once you unblock your inner self, you can just allow those intuitive feelings to just flow through. I'm warning you now, it might get emotional, but it's part of the process and it's completely normal and necessary. It's really important to unblock any stagnant emotions around our creativity because as creatives, we are moved by our emotions, whether that's creating or viewing art. Our emotions are part of the fuel that surrounds our creativity. So it's absolutely fundamental that we can tap into it and feel in the flow. At best, this is about simply tapping into our intuition, but at our worst, it could feel like recovering a kind of lost part of ourselves. It sounds dramatic, but I think as creatives, we kind of understand that link, that feeling. So whatever stage you're at, it's always good to check in with your feelings first. So now that we know why intuition is important, let's talk about how we're going to do it. So for the first part of the 4 elements process, we're going to be doing a visualization, tapping into our younger selves. And I say younger selves and not inner child because I feel like inner child is a very important part of therapy, and I'm not a licensed therapist, so the visualization is designed to tap into that inner childlike creative freedom and not necessarily our inner child. So please bear that in mind when we're doing this visualization. So this visualization will take us back to a younger version of ourselves. So this could be your child self, your teenage self, or even just you a month ago. Think about a time when you first started experiencing or first started craving this creative freedom. In our youth, we experience a sense of freedom and playfulness that often is diminished or completely gone in our adulthood. So it's really important to regain that sense. This visualization offers you an opportunity to reconnect with that part that has lain dormant. You'll also be able to tap into intuitive and any creative messages that come up. So now we'll be doing the visualization. So I'll be reading from my text to be able to guide you. If you are able, please get into a comfortable position and take 3 deep breaths. You'll be connecting with a younger version of yourself. This could be you as a child, a teenager, or even you a month ago. Think of a time when you felt creative, uninhibited, joyful, and full of creative spirit. They will be guiding you today. You find yourself at the beginning of a long road. It's so long you can't see where it ends. This road is your creative journey. Each step brings you closer to your inner creative self. Your younger self reaches out for you. They want you to follow them. Take their hand, let them lead the way. As you walk together, things start to appear by the side of the road. Observe your surroundings. If they point something out, take a closer look. Don't think about it or try to decipher its meaning. For now, just look. Here you can pause the video, and when you're ready, you can unpause the video to continue. You start to see small figures in the distance grow larger. You realize you're approaching a small town. Each part of this town represents a part of your creative self. When you grow, it grows with you. You start to see a familiar place, a house, a museum, a cafe, a school. Let yourself be guided there. You go inside and you're surrounded by things from the past. The drawings you drew, the posters you hung up in your bedroom, the ceramics you painted in school art class. You hear your favorite music from this time. Walk around, look and listen, take it all in. Finally, find somewhere to sit. Talk with your younger self. Listen to what they have to say. Take the time to reconnect to this part of you. Again, feel free to pause this video here and resume the video when necessary. So when you're done with the visualization, make sure to open your eyes and be still for a moment to allow all the feelings and messages to settle in. You might have received some intuitive downloads, messages, or memories from the past. So before those messages and feelings leave you, take a moment to write all of it down, everything you can remember and everything you took in. Within that, there could be something you'd forgotten, maybe some memories from your past relating to your present and what you want to pursue creatively. Maybe there's something that inspired you. Whatever it is, just make sure to write it down. The next part of the process will be to write a letter in response. So this will be writing a letter to that younger version of you that led you down this path. What is it that you want to say? Maybe you could thank them for the courage that they had to even take the first step, or maybe make a promise to them to follow the dream that you had pushed aside. This part will feel emotional and it's very personal. Just don't hold back. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, just write it down. Don't judge anything, don't think twice, just make sure to get it all out on the page. Make sure with both of these writing parts, you're spending a lot of time on it. Don't feel rushed. There's no time limit with these things, especially when it comes to the emotions. You really just want to be able to get all of it out. There might be a lot of stagnating things, a lot of things holding us back, and you just want to be able to clear it all so that you can feel completely refreshed and revitalized. And also there might be a lot of intuitive messages that you've tapped into, so you want to be able to make sure that you've written them all down. And in the moment they might not make any sense. You've written down blue giraffe and you're like, what's a blue giraffe? But later on, this could be something invaluable in your creative process. So just don't think too much. Just write it, draw it, doodle it, whatever you need to do to get it out. And now for the last part, the crafty part, which we've all been waiting for, which is collaging. So what I like to do is I take a bunch of old magazines or paper craft or just bits I have lying around and cut them out. And while I'm doing this, I focus on what came up during the visualization exercise, what I saw around me, what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I was told by my younger self, and allow this to intuitively guide me towards images and words and symbols and whatever else, colors that may resonate with me in that moment. You need to just find it and cut it out and stick it down and arrange it in a way that is visually pleasing to you. Whatever feels right in the moment, that's what you need to do. This part is completely intuitive. This isn't about making a work of art. This is just about getting things out and getting things on the page and making you feel good. I'm really emphasizing the feeling part of it because the thinking will come later. So don't think, just feel your way through. And I think by doing that, all of the stuck emotions will hopefully start to clear. The second element is motivation. This is the why behind our creation, like this internal fire that makes us want to create, that gives us the drive to create. Something that we might call our creative spark. Now that we've unblocked our stagnant emotions, you may be feeling a sense of relief. And now there's this kind of unearthing of an inner desire of something and you're not quite sure what it is. So we're going to find out what that is. We can use our motivation to fuel us, but it's about tapping into it and knowing how to tap into it. And it's the same with our intuition, but there's different ways of being able to tap into our intuition versus our motivation. And if you can find your internal motivation, you will be a very powerful creator. How do we do this? So the first part is creating 2 lists. This sounds quite strange because this feels like a very type A thing to do, whereas I'm talking about kind of emotional fuel, but just go with it. So the first list is a motivational music playlist. So these are the songs that get you hyped up, get you immediately to feel like you're in the mindset of creative flow. What I mean is that when you listen to this, it kind of gives you this energy, this fire within you to suddenly like do something. But when you're creating this list, you have to be very particular about the songs that you pick, because not everyone wants the songs that make them want to get up and dance, because that might be very distracting. It could be a classical music playlist. So, choose the music that makes you feel creative and you'd actually want to do something rather than just get up and have a dance and be distracted, This playlist should start with songs that kind of ease you into this mood and then build up the pace to kind of a consistent beat, a consistent tempo. So kind of, it kind of builds up and then it ends kind of with a crescendo at the end. So you feel like very intensely motivated, kind of like, yeah, let's go. That's the kind of pattern that I would suggest. The second list is your mojo list. So this is a list of like activities, feelings, places, smells, clothes, anything that when you interact with them, you feel fired up, you feel creative, you feel good. And again, this list is very particular to you. So it doesn't have to be things that would necessarily resonate with other people, like the feeling of like running around in a field and feeling joy. Yours could be going out in the rain. Like everyone has their own way of feeling connected and feeling motivated. So whatever that is for you, make sure to curate it to you and your creative needs. Just remember, a song that is high energy and potent to you could be way too overstimulating for someone else. And similarly, meditation with positive affirmations that could put you in the right headspace could send other people to sleep. So just curate it, just make it specific to you. The next exercise that you're going to do is putting these lists to the test. What you're going to do is put on the music from your playlist and think about or actively interact with the things from your mojo list. And while you do this, you're going to be doing a free drawing and a free writing session. Draw and write freely and just allow your subconscious to guide you. During this exercise, you might notice some symbols or words or images that start to recur. Don't think about it in the moment. We'll use that at a later time. But just make note of these as you're drawing. Also, as a side note, some people might feel like playing the music and drawing and writing at the same time might be quite distracting. So if you're that type of person, then I would suggest playing the song, playing, parts of your playlist, pausing it, feeling the kind of fire, the creative fuel, and then going about writing or drawing, and then continuing the playlist until you kind of hit that crescendo. So just do what feels right to you. I personally, when I listen to music, my brain that is critical just completely shuts off, which is why this is so powerful for me. So I can just feel the feeling of motivation, but for other people it might be too much. So just do what works for you. The next part is the creative part, the part where we get a bit hands-on. This will be creating a creative totem. Just going to read what a creative totem is. The creative totem is an idea I kind of came up with myself. It's a mix of totemism and the Jungian idea of symbols. So it's a mix of those with my own like creative flair, I suppose, and something that just worked for me. A creative totem is an item that inspires you. It can be an image or a physical item that holds great symbolic meaning. This meaning is completely personal to you. Look closely at what you've drawn, what you've written, and are there any symbols or colors or images or shapes that stand out to you? This kind of points towards your inner motivation. We might be asking, how can a symbol or a color or a shape point to my motivation? That doesn't make any sense. Well, this is what the creative totem is. It's a combination of all of these things put together, and that creates the meaning for you. Use the words from your free writing session to help develop kind of a language, quote unquote, around your creative totem. So I would recommend not using actual like words or too many words, because then later on when you look back at your creative totem, it will only carry like one specific meaning, whereas with symbols the meaning can kind of add or be like added to or develop over time. That's just my recommendation. If you feel like certain sentences or words are kind of powerful, then go ahead and use them, but I wouldn't be too prescriptive in the meaning that you attach to your creative totem, because it's supposed to grow with you. So you have two options with your creative totem. In the workbook, you have the chance to collage or draw or write and create kind of like an amalgamation of symbols and colors, etc., to create your creative totem on the page. Or you could create a physical object using bits of plastic or bits lying around, like paper maybe, to create like a 3D creative totem. I would suggest doing both. I have both. I have paper objects, like things I've drawn, and then later I go out and I find the symbols and the imagery and the colors that resonate with what I've drawn and what I've written. So I would honestly use it in combination. The point of all of this is to find music and to find objects and to find activities, anything that you feel taps into that motivation, that sense of drive that will lead you to create something. And the creative totem is an object or a collage or something that when you look at it, you immediately understand your why. You immediately understand your motivation, and you can look at it and tap into the drive that you seek, because it's like an immediate download from your subconscious to that inner, the creative spark. If you're able to collect items and just dot them around your creative space that are your creative totem, then you'll be immediately, as soon as you step into the space, you'll be fired up and ready to go just by creating a space with those kinds of things in. Clarity is the next key part of the creative path. You have to cut through the noise. At this point, you'll be feeling energized, motivated, and ready to take action. But now we have to channel these emotions and motivational feelings into clear action, because without a clear focus, it's really easy to stray from our path. So for this part, we'll be concentrating on channeling this energy into a clear purpose. Find your specific why and use it to guide you. You will be doing a lot of writing for this part, so make sure to grab your favorite pen. The first exercise you'll be doing is prompted journaling, and you'll have several prompts. So these will be, what is stopping me from creating consistently? Why do I need to create? Who is my creativity for? Who or what has been the biggest influence on my creative journey? And what do I have to say? So pick 2 or 3 of these and just keep writing. And if you feel like stopping, ask yourself why to the last part that you wrote, and maybe you'll find some more clarity, and then you'll be able to keep on writing. It's so important that you dig right to the core of what these questions are asking. We don't want to start here and end here. We want to get past the superficial layers of what we're thinking. We need to really, really, really cut deep and get to grips with our focus, our why, and just, get clarity on what it is and why it is that we're creating. Do this until you can't write anything else, and just make sure you take your time with it. I would say take 30 minutes minimum to do this journaling session. I think it's really easy to just answer with one sentence, but that's really not going to cover what you truly feel. After you've done that, you'll have 3 more prompts. These are I am, I can, and creativity is. I can covers your skills. Sometimes we can feel like we don't have any creative skills or very little creative skill, but often we actually come with a lot of skills outside of directly knowing how to paint or draw or compose a piece of music. There's so much that we already have in our skill set that we just need to acknowledge that will help us in the creative process. So really think about what it is that you've done in the past, even if it's small, even if it's just, I learned how to doodle at age 10. Like these are still skills that you have that you can learn from and continue to build upon. So anything, any part of your skills that you have, write it down here. The next one is I am. These are characteristics about yourself that will help you on your creative journey. So for myself, it's resilient, persistent, these kind of things. Like I have the capacity to just keep going. You can just any characteristics, innovative, visual, anything that it is that you feel like describes yourself. And this isn't a time to be humble or hold back. Like really put it out there and be very confident and honest with yourself about what characteristics you have. The last prompt is creativity is. When we create, what are we creating for? Who are we creating for? Think back to the previous prompted journaling. So we want to get clear about what specifically creativity means to us. What is creativity to you? This might be a tricky one to answer, but again, you have time to dig deep and think about what it is, who it is, why you're creating, what does it mean to you? What is creativity? The I can, I am, creativity is, these strengthen our creative identity, because sometimes we just need reminders of who we are and why it is that we create. Then you're going to use these to pin down your artist statement, which is the encapsulation of all these ideas of why you create and who you are as an artist. So using the previous prompts from the journaling and then distilling it into the I can, I am, creativity is, and then we distill it even further into our artist statement. So an example is, I am an inventive visual artist. I love color and I see the world through a colorful creative lens. I am always coming up with ideas. I can be inspired by anything. My creativity is for myself and to show myself that life is better off with more color. So this is an example of an artist statement. You can see how the first section of the prompted journaling will focus you in on clarifying your I can, I am, creativity is statements, and then focused even more in your artist statement. So it's just getting more and more specific, gaining more and more clarity along the way. And then, as with the previous sections, we always end with a crafty activity. So this time we'll be creating creative affirmation cards. These will be used for like a daily hit of inspiration. Ideally, you'd want to pick a keyword, a creative affirmation, and then some kind of design to complement it. And this design can be the same on each card. So when you go to pick one, you don't know which one you're picking. So it can be like, oh, this is what I was meant to see or read, or you could do a different design on each card. It's up to you. So an example of this for the keyword could be belonging. The creative affirmation could be, I am right where I need to be, and then the design on the cards. So just do what you want to do with this part. Again, it's crafty, it's up to you, and I think you'll need a break from all the writing in the previous sections, but this is really, really helpful. This again will help you get clarity in your day-to-day when you revisit these creative affirmation cards to give you that boost of inspiration and a bit of lift in your mood, and maybe it's just something that you need to hear for that day. So the fourth and final part, the most important part, is embodiment. You've tapped into your intuition, found your motivation and gotten clarity, and now it's to bring it all together and really embody your creativity. So to be creative, you have to believe in your ability to create. Trust you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. So for this part, we're going to start with a visualization. You're going to visualize the dream creative role, your ultimate creative self, and really be stepping into it and embodying it. So that means seeing it, believing it, and being it. I will be reading the visualization. There's going to be moments where you can pause this video if you want to take some more time to sit with the visualization, or you can just run it all the way through and come back to it at a later date, however you want, but I'm going to start reading it now. In this visualization, you will embody the creative you're always meant to be. Imagine you're in a large, empty room. This room is a blank canvas for you to fill with the essence of your creativity. You won't be using brushes, clay, or paper. It will be done through the power of your imagination. If you can see it in your mind, you can create it. Take your focus to the center of your chest. Feel a cool, calm energy emanating throughout your entire body. This is your intuition, a calm knowing that runs through every fiber of your being. Now, focus specifically on your heart and your heartbeat. With each heartbeat, feel warmth being moved throughout your body. This is your motivation. The internal fire that lets you know all you need is within you. Move your focus to your head. Starting between your eyes and moving inwards towards the back of your skull, let a cool breeze blow away all confusion, fears, and doubts. This is how you gain clarity. Look at your hands. Move all the energy in your body towards your hands. Slowly crouch and place your hands on the ground. Look up and watch the empty room become full of life. All those feelings within you are reflected in this room. Your inner world becomes your outer world. Know that you have the power to create things at will by harnessing your inner power. Take some time to look around this room. This is who you are and what you can do. So feel free to pause the video now to really sink into this feeling of creativity and have a look around this room that you created. From this visualization, now you've got an image of what your creativity looks like externally. Take some time to draw an image, try and recreate it, or just recreate it in a way that resonates with you on a piece of paper, or whatever symbols or imagery that you picked up from there. Just have a go at recreating this visualization. What did the room look like? What did you look like? How did it feel? These are all questions and prompts you can be thinking about while creating this image. The next step is planning and goal setting. This doesn't sound very fun, but it's kind of a necessary part of the creative process. I think it's really important to have structure in order to have freedom, and this is something that I reiterate all the time throughout not only this process, but through the NPR method, which is something that I teach for creatives, which is all about structure and creating structure in our day-to-day lives. The first step is kind of assessing where you are now and thinking where you want to go. What projects do you want to create? What ideas do you have? What materials do you need? What communities can you reach out to? Like, now you've seen the overarching vision through your visualization and bringing it all together. What concretely can you think about that would take you to the next level of actually being able to create this thing? At this point, it's going to be impossible to know it all. So just write down the bits that you know, and you can always come back to it and expand on it later. Another thing that I suggest is using smartish goals. So you may have heard of SMART goals, but there's something that I teach which are called smartish goals. And I do have a separate video about goal setting on this YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, it does contain a longer explanation about what smartish goals are and why you should use them. So please have a look at that. But for now, I'll just give you a summarized version. So to set goals using the smartish framework, S stands for specific but not strict. Set clear goals with flexibility. Progress is better than perfection. M stands for motivational or meaningful. Choose goals that inspire and excite you to stay focused. A stands for aspirational. Aim for goals that challenge you and help you to envision your best self. R stands for relevant to you. Ensure your goals resonate with your personal life and avoid comparison with others. And T stands for time frame. Establish a flexible deadline that allows for unforeseen circumstances while keeping you motivated. Combine your overall planning, your ideas, your projects within this specific smartish goals framework to kind of get you closer to where you want to be. At least plan the immediate next step. The last step in this process is possibly the most daunting. It's time to create something. I know facing a blank sheet of paper can be very daunting, and everything before this has been very, very guided. But now I'm telling you, you just have to do something. And you probably already have something in mind because you've written a plan of, some projects, some ideas that you have. So if there's anything that you can pick up from there that you can immediately start on, now is the time to do that. And you may be thinking, well, I don't have this, and I don't know this, and I don't know that, and I don't know this. But I really believe as creative people, as artists, we can create from nothing. We don't need anything. We don't need the specific things in order to create something. And I'm not talking about creating a finished work. I'm not talking about creating this incredible piece of art. I'm talking about creating something. This is about just convincing yourself that you do have the ability, the capacity to create anything you want. Don't be scared. You just have to do it and give yourself the space to experiment. This is a space to just try something new, or something you haven't tapped into a while, or something you've been doing over and over and you want to take a different angle on it. This is your chance. Absolutely, just trust yourself. You've come this far, you've got all the tools you need from the previous sessions to be able to do this, so don't worry. So for this part, if you're using the workbook, you can create something within the workbook on paper, but I would recommend really getting stuck in and creating something with just bits you have lying around. Even if that's not exactly your medium, I think it's great to just experiment and explore. So that was the 4 elements of creativity: intuition, motivation, clarity, and embodiment. Use this method when you feel like you need to reconnect with your inner creative self. You can use just the first part or all 4 parts. I recommend the first time doing it, do it step by step from first to last so you can get an idea of maybe you need more intuition or more motivation or more clarity, or etc. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be doing these in person in London, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And if you want to know more about what Pensive has to offer, please make sure to follow our social media, Substack, this YouTube channel. There's a lot going on. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.